Contrary to popular belief, I wasn't created in a lab. I am not the product of science. I am the product of nature. I was created in a sack, much like many of you watching this. And over the years, I've introduced you to my father, the person responsible for me being alive. God bless. And I wanted to give you a little update on my dad because recently the two of us have embarked on a new journey here. It's one of my father's dreams. It's something he's talked about for as long as I can remember, when I was still just an infant, soiling my diapers and huffing glue, when I didn't even have the ability to process cringe and couldn't even play video games because my stupid little cringe-ass baby fingers couldn't grab a controller. From the time I was born, basically, my father bestowed upon me an overarching quest, like something out of an MMO, like a long-term quest. And now, the two of us are finally going to try and complete it. My father's dream, that he's had for so many decades now, is to build a 32 Ford. That's a car, for those of you that don't know vehicles, which is typically me, but I'm very familiar with this car because my father's talked about it so much for so long. It's a car that holds extreme sentimental value to him for two big reasons. One, it's part of his favorite movie, American Graffiti. And two, he and his father actually built a 32 Ford back in the 70s because of American Graffiti. And I'll let him tell the story of what the 32 Ford and the building of it means to him, also what happened to it, and then I want to tell you what we're doing.
You ready?
Ready.
All right. So, Charlie wanted me to do this video. We got a new project started with Senior Moist Critical here. So,
Oh, Jesus.
yeah, I know, right? How stupid is that? So, way back when in the 70s, when I was a teenager, the movie American Graffiti came out. I think it was 1973. Okay, so we went and saw American Graffiti in 1973. All of us who were car guys growing up, as teenagers, you know, we loved that yellow 32 Ford, as most of America did. It was one of those movies that it was a low-budget movie, never expected to do anything, became a cult, kind of like Napoleon Dynamite, I guess, you know. So I set out on a quest to find a 1932 Ford Coupe. And I was looking, at that time you looked through the newspaper and looked at the classified ads, and I found one and I went and bought it for like $300. So I brought it home and to my mom and dad's house, and this is what it looked like. It was a piece of crap. Okay. So my dad said, "What the hell are you going to do with that?" And I said, "We're going to build this yellow 32 Ford Coupe." So we were not car builders at that time. We just decided that we were going to do it. So I'd go to the junkyard, I'd get parts, we'd make them work, we'd fabricate, we'd do all this stuff. There's your grandfather with the chassis and everything. There's the chassis when we put the motor in it. There's the A-frame we built to put the motor in it. Now, this was way before the internet. This is the chassis with the motor in it, body. This is the first time I drove it. There's me when I was like a teenager. We built it from pictures. This is the car when I was at a car show in mid-70s. So I was in quite a few car shows around Florida. What happened was, of course, I was a young teenager with no money, right? Mowing yards to try to buy anything I could buy, right? With making money. And a guy came up to me at the car show and wanted my home phone number. So, of course, back then, you didn't think nothing of it. You just gave it to him. "Oh, yeah, here's my phone number." "Well, can I call you?" "Well, yeah, you can call me." So a few days later, this guy calls me, and he wants to come look at the car at my house. He says, "Is it for sale?" At my parents' house. And I said, "No, it's not for sale." So this guy comes. He's a fireman, and he's got $5,000 cash.
Everybody said it was $7,000.
Well, $7,000 cash. I think it was 5 or 7. I can't remember. I think it was 6. No, he had $7,000 cash. That's what it was. So all of a sudden, he whips out this stack of $100 bills, and I'm like, "Are you serious? That's the most money I've ever seen in my life." And he says, "I want to buy your car." And I said, "You just bought it." So he pays me the $7,000. He takes the car and he leaves. Now, my mom and dad are gone shopping, doing something. And they come home and my dad's like, "Where's the 32 Ford?" And I said, "Walk in the kitchen and look on the table." And I had taken the $7,000 cash and spread it out all over our kitchen table.
Yeah, you did the money spread.
And they walked in and saw it and said, "Holy shit." I don't think they'd ever seen that much money either. So that's what happened to the 32 Ford. And of course, it was gone. I recently found another 32 Ford all-steel coupe in Georgia and went and bought it. And we're gonna build the American Graffiti coupe once again. It's a bucket list thing, but that's my project for this year.
Fuck yeah.
And that's it.
And it's gonna look great.
Yeah, that's it. So we'll see ya.
Beautiful story. Just in time for the holiday season, too.
So that's the lore breakdown of the 32 Ford and its importance to my father, thus its importance to me. I've always encouraged my dad to really try and find, a way of working on a 32 Ford again, because I know how much it means to him. And he's just never really been able to find it. It's not exactly an easy thing to come across, especially like an authentic 32 Ford. And like, also, he doesn't have like a facility to build cars in or anything anymore. He'd have to do it like out of his garage. So it's just been really difficult. But he found just a unicorn with this 32 Ford, which I'm going to show you videos of. And he said, fuck it, we'll do it live. He pulled the trigger on it, got the 32, and contacted a friend of his named Joe, who does have a facility to work on cars. He has a place called Joe's Paint and Body. And he said, hey, listen here, brother, you can come work on the car here as long as I get to help as well. So the two spit on their hands, shook on it, and now he's got a place to work on the car. He's also got someone to help him, and I will also be pitching in when appropriate. I don't want to ruin the build or anything, but I know for my dad, him building the 32 Ford with his dad was really special to him. So I want to make sure that I can do the same for him on this 32.
All right, hey everybody, here I am at the world famous Joe's Paint and Body, Ocoee, Florida. This is Joe. Say hi, Joe.
Hi, Joe.
So here's the project that we're taking on, this 32 5-window coupe, and it's going to be a yellow American Graffiti 32 Ford. So the car is 100% real steel body. It's uncut, never been touched. Car's in fantastic shape. We're gonna really do a number on this thing. So, all right. So we're just standing here, Joe and I, trying to decide how we're gonna approach this project and what we've decided. Joe, why don't you tell them what you just told me about this car?
Well, somebody's cut the front frame horns off. They're supposed to be hanging out. So I say we find those and put it on, and we got to put the spread bar in it. And then we got a 4-deuce setup carburetor and intake's going to go on it. We are going to paint the car yellow. We're going to do a frame off on it. We're going to change the headers. So we're going to take off. It's got a Meladon race and oil pan that don't belong there. We're going to take that off and put a regular 327 pan. The motor's a 66 327, 275 horse, and originally was a 4-barrel motor with a Powerglide transmission is what it coded out as. They got a turbo 350 transmission in it with a 3-speed manual valve body. We're not so sure if we like that.
Joe's speech about the engine there felt like something out of the first Fast and Furious movie. I half expected him to talk about granny shifting, not double clutching like you should, nearly blew the welds off the intake. Like, he is clearly a savant. They were going over all of the alterations they're going to make as well as what they're going to keep. The big thing is they don't want to chop on the body because it would be quite sinful to do that. The car's like 90 fucking years old, and that would be a bit of a waste. So basically, they've gone over a game plan on how they want to approach this build.
We've built a dozen cars together or more. So in the past, and so we're back together again, and we're going to build this one. This is going to be next year's project, and we'll get her done.
Yep, and we'll keep making these videos and sending them in and putting them in the can, and then we'll just show you the progress as we're going. Thanks.
Such an unbelievably wholesome sign-off from my dad right there. It almost seems like it was a hostage situation with the way he, ended the video. Just like a wide-eyed 1,000-yard stare. thanks. Like he was being held at gunpoint for it. I promise you I'm not forcing them to film or document it. It's my dad thought it would be fun to do that together with me and Joe because this is such a meaningful project to him. Plus, a lot of people always ask what my dad's up to because he lives a very interesting life. So I thought it'd be fun to also do this and film it with them so that way I could give you updates on it. I think it's a really fun project. I am always excited when my dad takes on something big like this. I haven't seen him build a car in probably close to 15 years now. He just hasn't had the time nor the facility to do it, so it's going to be really cool to see him dust the cobwebs off, shake it off, lubricate the gears again and get out there and make cars, which is something he's always loved to do. So I just wanted to share this with all of you. I thought maybe some of you would think it was cool, especially those of you that like seeing the updates to my dad's wacky adventures. And I'll give you a little bonus Easter egg here. I talk about this on stream, but my dad also got really big into building models. So he is huge into making miniatures now. So I'll just show you like some of the collection of things he's made. He makes pretty much all of them from scratch, literally eyeballing it, and it's so fucking cool.
Look.
Oh yeah. The dueling top fuel dragsters, eh?
Built from scratch.
Built from pictures, right?
Built from pictures, yeah.
No directions, that's for pussies. You build based on Google Images. Like a real man.